Hello, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create a table so you can see what percentage of the page views on your site are likely from people hoarding tabs in their browser. And for more details on this, you can visit our blog post, which has the information you need to implement first in Google Tag Manager in order to get this data into GA4. So at this point, what I would recommend is have Google Data Studio open as I do, and have added your GA4 data source to the report you're working on. So that's the point that we're at right now. First thing I suggest is adding a control. Add a date control specifically. And then typically I make the auto date range something really short. So let's say, the last 7 days, because the longer the date range, the more it takes to load up reports, and we want to keep this snappy when we're creating it. And then you can change the default time period to whatever you like. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a chart, just a simple table. And in this first table, we're going to have a dimension of the page specifically. So we're looking at page path. And then the metric will be views. So we want to see how many views you've had of this page. No filters or anything yet. Then right click and duplicate. Drag this over here. And then what we're going to do here is we're actually going to add a filter to this table. So on this particular table, we're going to create a filter called tab hoarders only. And I've already created this, so I'll show you what this looks like. In this filter, we're including the nav action, which is equal to reload, and the nav tab type equal to existing. So what I'm saying is only show me the views where someone has reloaded the tab on an existing, reloaded the page on an existing tab. So you can see now it's filtered, and I'm just seeing a smaller percentage of views. So now what we're going to do is put these two tables together. Select both, and you can do that on a PC by shift click, and then right click and choose blend data. And then drag this out of here so it's away from the other two. Let's make it a bit bigger. And so you can see now that we have two view fields. What we're going to do is click this little pencil icon next to the data source to pull this up. And I just want to check. You can see that the blend put the tab hoarder filter as the leftmost data source. So what that means is that you'll only see the pages that had hoarders, but if you want to see all the pages, what you'll do is you'll click the three little dots on the table that is not filtered, and then say shift left. And then that means that the unfiltered data, all views, will be, that means you'll be seeing all pages. And then for the filtered views, that will only be tab hoarders. The other thing you're going to want to do is change the metric name. Right now it says views. What I'm going to change it to is to say tab hoarders. And that way you can tell which metric is which. Otherwise you have metric of view and views, which isn't necessarily specific. I'm going to hit save. And then it will get mad and say everything is broken. And that's just because we made a change to it. So just select page path from the dropdown. And we'll put tab hoarders second, so it's a little clearer. So this is all the views, and these are the views by tab hoarders. Now, to make this a little bit easier for people to see, we're going to add a calculated metric, and that will be the percentage of views which were done by a tab hoarder. So to do this, click the plus symbol here with add metric, and then choose create field, and call it what you want the field to be. For example, I'm going to call it percentage of tab hoarders. And then it's a really simple calculation. It's just tab hoarders divided by views. And then in order to have it show up as a useful format, we're going to choose a format of from number and then choose percent. And then we'll have a third column that now shows up as a percent, which you can see here. Now, this isn't necessarily the most useful format for it. So the last thing we're going to do is head on over to the Style tab and make this look a little bit better. So it's easier for people to look at it and immediately see what the issue might be. So over here in the Style tab, scroll on down until you get to the section with the dimensions. So for column number 1 is fine, column number 2 is fine, column number 3 is what we're going to change. So the first thing we're going to do is make this a heat map. And we want to make it a heat map so it's really clear which pages have the most hoarding to the least amount of hoarding. And then the second thing we're going to do is change the decimal precision to 1. There really is not a lot of difference between 78.26 versus 78.3. It's fine. You could even say no decimal places if you wished. So we're going to change that to 1 just to make it a little bit clearer. And then you can see as you scroll down, you end up with null showing up. So what I recommend in that case is if you scroll back up here, see where it says missing data, You can change it to 0, or I usually change it to a dash when it's this kind of blend. And so what it's saying here is that there were 27 views of this particular page, but no one hoarded this tab. And that way you can see which pages have the most percentage of tab hoarders. Of course, don't forget, you can probably delete these 2 original tables now and format this to make it look appropriate for your other reporting. If you have any questions about this or run into any issues, definitely contact us at Kickpoint. And of course, if you work at an agency and you would like to learn about creating more things like this and other great stuff that we make for our clients, make sure to sign up to be notified when we release our Analytics for Agencies course. And you can do that on the blog post where we talk about how to measure tab hoarding. Thanks so much for watching.